Hello, everyone. The deacons in the Diocese of Springfield usually have their annual appreciation dinner in October each year, where we recognize the anniversaries, for example, 5, 10, 15, 20, and also any deacons who have retired in that year. Well, due to the coronavirus, we may not be able to celebrate this year, and we thought it would be nice if our bishop could present our retirees with their plaques before he left for St. Louis. Our retirees this year are Deacon Paul Briere, Deacon Jerry Campion, Deacon Odell Daniel, Deacon Pete Hebert, and Deacon Charlie Wainwright, who has been called home to our Lord. Now is the time that we will honor 5 of our best deacons who have retired this year. As you know, even though they have retired, they can still assist in ministry when and where they feel up to it. So first, we would like to call Deacon Paul Briere and his wife Linda up. Deacon Paul Briere was ordained with the class of 2005. Along with his wife Linda, Paul was a wonderful asset at St. John's in Agawam. After his years at St. John's, he answered the call and transferred to minister at St. Peter and St. Casimir's in Westfield. While he was still a deacon at St. Peter's, Deacon Paul also shared his ministerial duties at Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish in Westfield. He then returned to St. Peter and St. Casimir as a full-time minister. As his pastor's health declined, Deacon Paul was used in many capacities and roles and did an outstanding job serving the people of St. Peter's and St. Casimir. His wife Linda was always there supporting Paul, and as we all know, we couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for our dedicated wives and families. When Deacon Paul began having his own health issues, he and Linda had to make a difficult decision. With their family in mind, they made the choice to retire from an active assignment. Deacon Paul and Linda and the people of St. Peter and St. Casimir, St. John's, and Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament, as well as the entire Diocese of Springfield, thank you both for your devotion to the diaconate family of Springfield. Our good wishes and prayers go with you both on your newest journey. Next, we have Deacon Gerald Campion, who was ordained in 2015. During his CPE course, Jerry did a wonderful job. His instructor was so impressed that she invited him to come back and assist with the course for the next incoming class. This is definitely a sign of a natural teacher. Deacon Jerry was assigned to Mary Mother of Hope Parish in Springfield and was beloved by the parishioners and held in high esteem by his pastors. Everyone speaks very highly of Deacon Jerry as a kind and giving man. Whenever something was needed, a call went out to Deacon Jerry, and he always made himself available. As a quiet, thoughtful person who consistently made it a point to look out for those in need of spiritual or moral support, Deacon Jerry was your man. You can imagine what a busy ministry Deacon Jerry was able to accomplish over the years. Naturally, with his expertise in CPE, his talents led him to home visits to the ill and the elderly. He made himself available to all who needed comfort and solace. What a true gift from God this man is to the diaconate family. During his own illness, the diaconate office would get calls asking when Deacon Jerry was coming back. Your ministry missed you dearly. Deacon Jerry's ministry has been for only 5 years, but what an impact he's made on parishioners, pastors, and fellow deacons, especially at Mary Mother of Hope. It's so nice to get reminders from parishioners saying their deacon is such a kind and caring person who holds all in his ministry in such high regard. What a wonderful legacy you leave for all of us to follow. Now we have Deacon Odell Daniel, better known to many of us as Deacon Danny. Deacon Danny was ordained in 2011. He was assigned to Our Lady of the Sacred Heart in Springfield, and he also assisted with the 6 p.m. youth mass on Sunday nights at Holy Cross. This was one of his special joys, working with the youth and providing music for the mass. Deacon Danny and his wife Kathy, who is in charge of the religious ed program at Holy Cross. Alongside Deacon Danny, Kathy enjoys the responsibility of educating and enriching the lives of children within our faith. Deacon Danny became involved in the many ministries that Our Lady of the Sacred Heart sponsored. He was very active in the church, making sure that people received some food items when they needed, and his homilies hit the spot and were always well received. He is devoted to honoring the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and to this day, he says that spiritual guidance is what keeps him refreshed and going. When the call for assistance at Blessed Sacrament in Springfield came, Deacon Danny volunteered to serve, assisting up until his retirement. He continued splitting weekends at both churches. The church families at both parishes are forever grateful to Deacon Danny and Kathy for their ongoing devotion to the diaconate of Springfield, as a good man is hard to find. Deacon Danny will continue to assist at Blessed Sacrament even after his retirement, once the COVID virus quiets down. Thank you. Next, we have Deacon Romeo Hebert, better known as Pete, who is not able to be with us today. However, Deacon Pete was ordained in 2009, and many may not know this, but at one time, we were concerned that he wouldn't even make his ordination. During their final 5-day retreat, Deacon Pete was experiencing some rather serious health issues and landed in the hospital for several days. Fortunately, with the grace of God, he was able to celebrate with his classmates and has been going strong ever since. Deacon Pete served the people of Chicopee and Holyoke in several parishes with pride and was well respected in both communities. As a deacon, we appreciate his willingness to follow in the footsteps of the apostles with faith and charity to all. He last served at St. Anne's in Chicopee and was well thought of by parishioners and his pastor, Father John Connors. Deacon Pete has had his share of setbacks, and finally he, along with Jean and Father John, thought it best for Deacon Pete to retire due to ongoing health issues. We are delighted to offer him many happy days enjoying his retirement. And finally, would Jean Wainwright please come forward? Deacon Charlie Wainwright and his wife, Jean Wainwright, made a big impact on the diaconate as well as our diocese. Unfortunately, Deacon Charlie was called home to our Lord in June of this year. To celebrate the ministry of Deacon Charlie and Jean's unfailing participation in his mission of serving, which began when he was ordained in 2005 at St. Michael's Cathedral. This year, he would be celebrating his 15 years of service in the diaconate. Keeping with tradition, ladies first, Jean Wainwright, first and foremost, was integral in her husband's service to those in need. She also served on the Deacon Council Board and did a wonderful job of keeping the diaconate wives and spouses of future deacons informed of the many issues in the ministry. In addition to the Deacon Council, she also served in many capacities, bringing music to our churches or anything else the pastors needed, long before Charlie became a deacon. Jean, thank you so much for your dedicated service to our diocese these past many years. Now for our dear friend, Deacon Charlie. Upon ordination as a deacon, Charlie was initially assigned to St. Stanislaus Basilica in Chicopee, where he served well. When the call came that help was needed at Holy Trinity in Westfield, Deacon Charlie said he would be happy to go. He was active at Holy Trinity, where he would do communion services at different locations, and he was also the child advocate at Holy Trinity. Many years ago, Bishop McDonald wanted a qualified deacon to serve on the building commission. The first person he thought of was Deacon Charlie. He had all the qualifications and served on that commission until he was called home to our Lord. Deacon Charlie was an easygoing guy with many talents, and he was truly loved and will be missed by his diaconate family. Jean, thank you for sharing a remarkable man with this church. Your gift of Charlie has been most appreciated. And Jean, you will notice the date on Charlie's plaque is May 2020. When you told Bishop and Deacon Leo that Charlie was being placed on hospice, the bishop said that we should get a plaque and we will get it to him, but as we all know, he was called home very quickly. Archbishop Mitch has a few words now.
For this afternoon's gathering, it's a joy and a privilege to be able to honor those who serve as deacons and who are moving into the phase of retirement, to thank you for your service and to thank God for your dedication and your generosity, both you and your families who have been so generous in sharing you with the church. So we thank God for you, we thank God for your ministry and those lives whom you have touched over these years. We ask God's blessing upon all of you in retirement. To our dear Deacon Charlie Wainwright, we ask that God receive him to the arms of his mercy and grant us consolation at his passing. Thank you, and God bless you.
And we will now honor those deacons who are marking special milestones this year.